Hey, there we go. There's the
Hey,
man.
how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Awesome. I was just telling people that tonight I'm joined by one of the top competitors in jiu-jitsu, and in my opinion, the best nickname in all of jiu-jitsu, Big Breakfast. Big Breakfast by Dorsey.
Why, thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
awesome. Thanks for joining me tonight and for chatting with me.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I literally just got done eating too.
We might as well start there. I told people about it. Your nickname, Big
Yeah,
Breakfast. I'm sure you get the
yeah.
question a lot now, but how tell us the origin of the nickname? How did people start calling you Big Breakfast?
So it actually started when I was a kid. I don't remember exactly what age, but I mean, we always traveled to tournaments together as a team, and I mean, of course, like we stayed in the same hotels and then went out to eat after the tournament and everything like that. So I mean, like pretty much at the dinner or in the breakfast the next day, I'll eat my food and then I'll eat whoever's food didn't finish. I'm just waiting to see who didn't finish their food and then just pass it down to me. Everyone knows just pass it down to me. So that's pretty much how that started. It actually started from Shane Jamil Taylor.
Yeah.
He's the one that he's always like joning on somebody, like talking about somebody, making fun of somebody. So he used that nickname in like a roasting type session, and it just stuck around.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And yeah, you started training when you were a kid. You said that briefly. We'll talk about that. But I wanted to start with ADCC, if you didn't mind, the biggest jiu-jitsu competition in the world.
Right.
Thousands. There was like over 10,000 people that went to and watched ADCC. You did really well. You had 2 wins against 2 of the best jiu-jitsu competitors in the game today.
Hmm.
Um, Talk a little bit about your experience at ADCC and and your experience at
Sorry
the
about
biggest tournament in the world.
that.
It's all good.
My brother just got into the car. He's about to say something stupid.
Might get a live jiu-jitsu demonstration.
It is my brother.
So yeah, just talk about ADCC. Talk about your experience at the biggest jiu-jitsu tournament in the world.
Yeah, it was a I I didn't even know what to really expect going into it, but just from like the first day I went there at the open, it was like a crazy atmosphere. Like the floor was flooded, people were competing, and it was like just a different energy that I felt even for the other competitors. So it all started on Thursday at the open, and then it just trickled into to what came on Saturday and Sunday, and yeah, it was really nothing I can imagine. Uh, the crowd, the walking backstage, seeing all like the living legends, the active legends that are in the backstage. Oh,
Oh,
pretty pretty crazy.
yeah, that's awesome. And you beat your first match. You went against Dante Leon,
Right.
right? And that
Hmm.
was like he's a super tough competitor, one of the best competitors in the world.
Yeah.
And just talk a little bit about that match, like just yeah, like your mentality going into it.
Um, going into the match or before even the bracket reveal, I felt like I was gonna have like a heavy hitter. I mean, the whole division's filled with heavy hitters, but like he's like one of the he was a top contender for the division. So I felt like I was gonna get one of the top contenders. I just had that feeling before the bracket reveal, and when I was announced for the bracket reveal, I was like, all right, cool, let's go. So really, I was just up for the challenge. I trained with him once, like briefly, like one like 5 minute round or something like that at the West Coast trials. We went to train, so I mean, he's a cool guy, and I was just looking forward to going against him. Whatever happened, happened.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like you were fired up about that. You won.
Yeah,
That obviously gave you a lot of confidence. And then, bam, next round you have JT Torres, two-time
right.
ADCC champ. And I don't know if you've ever trained with him. Like, were you like intimidated at all or not intimidated, but were you looking at him as like, oh wow, I'm going against the champ? Talk about going into that one.
So going into this one, I didn't really put any narratives behind it. If you don't know, he was actually on our team. Um, like when I was a kid coming up, he was on the team, and he was on the team for years. At that point, and I looked up to him when I was a kid, for sure. He was the guy killing it in the tournaments and throughout the color belts and even into black belt. And um, yeah, I didn't put any like narrative on it. Going into the match, it was just another match for me. But I mean, two-time ADCC champ, he's super accomplished, and I was just down for the match again. I know he was also another one of the top contenders, of course, because he's a two-time champ. So I mean, of course, the two-time champ is going to have like some good odds in there. But I just went in there with a focused mind and just wanted to complete a mission.
Yeah, and it was a wicked match. That one I watched live.
Yeah.
And it was really a lot of wrestling back and forth. You got him down, I think, twice for points in the match, and that's what got you the win. So you were obviously doing a lot of wrestling in your training leading up, were you?
Yep. Yeah. So right. So we have I actually just posted on my story, but Garrett Lineberger, he's a two-time NCAA wrestling champ, and he's one of our pro belts. He started jiu-jitsu with us uh, after his wrestling career, and he's a pro belt with us. He also competes in jiu-jitsu as well. But yeah, he's been a super big help for this ADCC camp. And then if you don't know, you can literally just picture how he is in the room. But his name is the Truck, Angelo Claiborne. He's like, I don't feel like there's very little. There's a very small percentage chance that I'm gonna be fighting someone that feels like him when it comes down on the feet. So I felt like that preparation uh, really gave me the confidence to go out there and do what I did.
Yeah, and that's like amazing. So you got through day one. People that don't know, like you have potentially two matches in day
Right.
one. Then you get into day two, and then you're in the semifinals. So then
Right.
you had the semifinal against Wagner Rocha.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that one.
So so that match, uh, he's he's a he's a tank.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like the first time I seen him and talked to him up close was at the East Coast trials, and he gave me a handshake, and like his hands are like baseball gloves, and it's crazy. Like I even my my brother Corey, he was like he went up to him and was like, his hands are big. So his hands are huge, and I definitely felt that like the whole match he had a good strategy to come out with the win. But I feel like I put on a good match, and I think I did enough to win, but it didn't go in my favor. Referee decision, but um, yeah, it was a fun match. I expected it to be a hard match, a lot of standing, and yeah, I didn't come out with the win, but I think it was a good showing, and it definitely helped with my mindset and stuff like that, because he definitely plays like a lot of mental games and has like a very veteranship uh aspect to his game, so he definitely uses that to his advantage.
Yeah, definitely. If people don't know Wagner Rocha, like he's an older competitor, but I said the other day he seems to always make it to the finals at ADCC or like be fighting for a medal. Like I think
Yeah.
he's 43, and he's been in the finals of like two or three ADCCs, and it's
Right.
incredible how well he's able to play the rules and do all that. So yeah, that's amazing. He basically went against like three legends
Right.
of sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty. It was definitely a good experience. It gave me like I said, a lot of confidence for the future, and just like knowing where I'm at. Sorry, knowing where I'm at in my competition game and stuff like that. But I'm definitely going to take things from it to learn from it, and then improve off of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see you at the next one and like whatever else you have in between. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
I wanted to ask you
2026.
too, just briefly, because people may not know, but you started in jiu-jitsu quite young. Talk about just kind of how you started and got into jiu-jitsu.
So we first, me and him, we first started when at what 2008. He actually was taken by my parents to the academy first, like 3 months before the summer camp program, and then we got put in the summer camp program 3 months later. And when you first started, when we first started, we didn't do jujitsu. We like were there for like discipline and self confidence and like martial arts structure stuff and self defense, all that type of good stuff. And as you advance and progress in the program and stuff like that, then you start getting introduced to jiu-jitsu. Once you like started getting interested in it like really heavily, then you start to compete, go out to tournaments with the team, and then so from there we just locked into it and just kept the ball rolling, snowballing.
Yeah, yeah. And now look, you're competing in like Las Vegas, huge arena,
Right.
10,000 people, and in front of John Jones too, right? I saw you post a picture with John Jones. He saw your match.
Yeah. That was
Did,
pretty cool.
did you did you actually get to meet him or get to talk to him?
I didn't have a conversation with him. He tried to arm drag me when I like that's how I realized that was him. He like tried to arm drag me and I defended it, but it wasn't like a real arm drag. I just felt like a big old hand like grabbing my tricep and try to drag me. I'm like, oh, and then I asked for a picture right after that.
Nice, yeah. But even just knowing like he's in the building like for ADCC and for your matches, like that's
Yep.
gotta be pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really cool. Really cool. I was definitely expecting like a big name to be out there, like that's not a jiu-jitsu fighter. I was definitely expecting someone, and I mean that's a really big name, especially in the martial arts community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't know who's watching it like
Right,
online, right? So yeah,
right.
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Another question for you too. This could just be kind of general, but what have been some of the challenges that you face, like in your jiu-jitsu career? Like, what are some been like the tougher things that you've had to overcome, whether it be injuries or like something else?
I haven't had any, knock on wood. I haven't had any major injuries, uh, like no surgeries. Like the biggest thing I've had is at the beginning of the year, like during the Euros, the GI European Championships. I injured my wrist in my first match. I was able to win the tournament, but my first match I injured my wrist, and then that lingered even towards now, really. But it's like not really there, but it's still there. But it's been lingering since then, since January, and that's pretty much like the biggest thing. It held me out of competing at the Pan Ams, but then I did like my first uh, super fight or competition in April. Uh, so that's probably the biggest thing, the biggest injury wise. But just in general, I would say um, probably like in the color belts. Other than juvenile, Um, I didn't win any world championships. I think I got like very close. I was able to win pans at brown belt twice, but I didn't. I didn't get to that world championship. I didn't get that world championship title, which really I was setting out for. I got second, but that's not what I was going there for. And I was saying, like, just the mental, the mental games I had to play with myself, and the encouragement that I had to get from other people, uh, that kind of impacted everything. So those are probably like some setbacks. I would say, like thinking like am I good enough to do such and such, and type that, just like confidence stuff. But I think once I started to compete more and then started when I won the trials, then I started to like build it back up, like I'm here and I'm there with the best. So
Yeah, yes, and that's awesome, and I think that's motivating for people to hear. Like even people at the highest level, like yourself, still have doubts at one
Right.
time or another.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talk to myself a lot, and I overthink a lot of things. So, and then I try not to, but I tend to think of the results before they even happen. I make conclusions before they happen. So then that could shy me away from doing something and set me back even more. So I'm still trying to overcome that in certain aspects, but for the most part, it's getting a lot better.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, that's awesome. ADCC, you talked a little bit about coming up. I just have three kind of like more personal questions, just quick
Yeah,
questions, just wrap it up. Just a quick interview.
fire them away.
But I always like to ask people, when you were growing up, did you have an athlete or did you have someone that you really admired when you were a kid or when you were growing up?
Any sport?
Any sport?
Okay, so I'm a big Steph Curry fan.
Okay, nice,
Uh, I'm a big Tom Brady fan,
nice.
and I would jiu-jitsu wise. As a kid, I always looked up to Ronaldo Jacare Souza.
Nice.
That's like a big one, and then of course, like I looked up to everyone, but that was probably the most the person I mostly looked up to outside of my team, I would say. Uh, but yeah, those are like I would say if I had to name three people, then those are the three.
Yeah, I can definitely relate on the Jacare because I started in 2007, 2008, around the same time as you, and I feel like he had the craziest highlight reels
Yeah,
at the time,
yeah,
doing takedowns and submissions, crazy sweeps. Like it was like at the time, like no one else really was doing it like
right,
that.
right. Like whenever I had to like, I said it's like in like another interview, they asked me about my dream role. So I said Jacare Souza, and I said because like when I was a kid and I had to like lose weight and I'll be on the treadmill, that would be like the highlight that played the whole time to get me like encouraged to keep going, to keep going.
Nice.
Dang, to keep going.
Awesome. Next question. What is the move, the technique, submission, whatever, that you hate getting hit with the most? Like you get hit with it in the roll and you're like, oh man, like I'm going to think about that on the way home. Like, what is it for you?
I would say, I would say getting, I would probably say foot sweeps because like foot sweeps is just like, dang, like that was clean and you got
Yeah.
me. Like he's like if you like watch his matches, then you'll see like a lot of foot sweeps.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, and nothing you can do. You can't really react right away. It's just like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what else? Oh, what do I hate getting hit with? Really, double legs. Double legs. I don't like, especially with the ones where I get lifted up in the air. Like it's like put me down.
Yeah, I can relate on that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Last question. I guess you kind of gave your dream role. Do you have like a current competitive with an active competitor, like a dream match or a match that you really want to get, really looking forward to in the future?
Um, I don't have anybody like on like my radar really. Just I want to have matches with the best that there is. And so I'm always looking ahead to fight the best, and then edge my way onto the top.
And you seem like, just from talking to you a little bit, I mean, you seem like you're really goal oriented and driven. Like you'd be more focused on like winning the next ADCC than like a particular opponent.
Right.
Be right. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
awesome. So yeah, awesome.
Like
Yeah.
the next
So
thing.
that was really cool. Just to chat briefly with you. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're on the way home from training, but yeah, it's cool to
Well,
get
actually, on the way to training. On the way to training. Yeah. Yeah.
on the way to training. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, just but cool to get my like fans and followers. I know a lot of them may know about ADCC, but they may not know about you. So I thought it'd be cool to kind of get to chat with you a little bit, and
For sure.
we can get to know each other. So yeah, that's awesome. I watched your matches at ADCC. I was really impressed. I thought it was awesome that you were there in the big show, took out 2 legends, and yeah, I thought it was cool that you took the time to do this. So yeah, I just want to say thanks, and
Sure.
yeah, looking forward to any of the stuff that you do in the future in any of your matches.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
all
It was
right.
great
Thanks,
chat.
we appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir. Us.